I would say that the toughest part of being a zookeeper is keeping up with our male hippopotamus's poo. He uses his poo to mark his territory, and it means that we're pretty much constantly cleaning all day long. So we're pretty much following him from stall to stall, cleaning up behind him along the way. So that's probably the toughest part of my job.
The toughest part of my job is definitely how emotionally demanding it can be. There's a lot going on every single day, and we have to juggle a lot of things. But what keeps me going in harder times is definitely my connections with our animals. So getting to work with our animals every day brings me back again and again.
So we make really close attachments with all of our animals that we care for, whether that's just a couple days working with them or if it's years in their entire life. So I think one of the hardest things or toughest things about being a zookeeper is having to say goodbye, whether that's shipping out to another facility after you've gotten to see them be born here, like some of our giraffes, or if it's having to say goodbye as they cross that bridge. I think that's one of the toughest things that as a zookeeper we encounter. And one of the things that really keeps me coming back is knowing that every single day when we show up, these guys are here doing their job as well. And that just makes me so motivated, because without these guys being here doing their job, we wouldn't be able to save them in the wild. And at the end of the day, that's ultimately our number one job, is having people fall in love with them, so that way they want to save them in the wild. And that is something that keeps me coming back every single day, knowing that we are making a huge difference.
It's almost one of those jobs where it takes so much work to get into this field, and it's, for a lot of people, as a lot of us, it's our dream job, that when you do get here, you finally have made it, and then you have a bad day, you lose an animal. It almost feels, I guess, not okay to feel like it's not your dream job that day, and that can be a really hard thing to accept and work through. It's a lot of the trying to figure out how to take care of yourself and take breaks and make sure you're taking care of your teammates. Just really taking care of your mental health is really hugely important. That can be really hard for me to deal with a lot of the time. So when I'm having bad days, I think communicating with my teammates that I need a little bit of extra help that day has been something that's been really amazing. We've been doing a great job of really communicating that a lot with each other, and it's great to know that, you know, my teammates, they have my back, they're there for me, and I'm there for them. So it's, yeah, nice to know that we're not going through it alone.
So I would say the hardest part about being a zookeeper, well, obviously the work itself is hard work for sure, especially being an elephant rhino keeper. Super labor intensive work, but well worth it. We're all here because we're passionate about this work. I'm passionate about doing the very best that we can for these animals. That is my job, is taking care of these 6 individuals. I take a lot of pride in it. But it's just a pressure that I think that just zookeepers have on themselves. You just always want to do the very best that you can for your animals, not just in terms of their daily care, but being their voice. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with that, but they make it well worth it.
We definitely have some tough parts to our job. Obviously, when an animal is sick or if they pass away, we're really close to them. We spend 40 hours plus a week with them, so they get to be like our family and our friends. So when we lose them, it's really tough. But coming back into the work the next day is pretty easy. I mean, then you also get to see the rest. Like, we work with herd right now, 17 giraffe. If we lose one, we still have 16 others that need us to be there and be on our game. So coming back in and making sure that those 16 still have a great quality of life is what we're here to do.
Obviously, it's a lot easier to think about all the bad things in this world when you aren't staying busy, but the great thing is that we come in and it's super hard work from 8 to 5, so when we clock in to when we clock out, so our minds are always staying busy, and like Amy said before, we always have each other to keep each other positive too.
Yeah. For me, the hardest part about being a keeper is that they are animals, and just like any pet at home, eventually they do get old and they pass away. But I love them just like all the pets I take care of at home. I take care of about 108 animals here at the zoo, and by definition, sometimes we lose them, and that's really hard. And I always want to do what's best for them. But I take comfort in knowing that I took care of them for their whole lives, and I gave them the absolute best care I could possibly do. And I keep coming back day after day because there's always someone else that I know I can do really good care for, and I can help them. Jorge, for example, I've worked with for the entire 9 years I've worked at this zoo.